Hi again everyone and welcome to another episode of Beards and Board Games with me, Georgie. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hive. Hive is a two-player abstract game. It's really based around only your pieces can make around certain movements. It was released in 2001. It says 10 to 30 minutes on the box. I would say 10 minutes if you're playing somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing, or you both don't know what you're doing. And about 30 minutes, maybe slightly longer, if there's a lot of deep thought involved. Kind of like a chess sort of thinking pattern, but you'll see as we go into it, and I'll show you a bit more about the pieces. It was designed by John Yianni, who also designed another game that I heard about, or haven't played it yet. What was it called? Frogs, I believe. Yeah, I think it's just called Frogs. So I'd be up for giving that a try as well, but he seems to be sticking sort of with this animal theme anyway. Let's go and have a look at Hive. So guys, this is Hive. Really like the cover, just like everything about it, like the way it looks, like the colours. A game buzzing with possibilities. Isn't that clever? It's funny how most of these games decide to do that. Here is a carry case you get with it to carry all the pieces around. Save you taking the box around, save you damaging the box, and just to make it a little bit easier, to be honest, because as you'll see as I go along, it is very portable and you might want to take it around with you if you enjoy it. So that's the carry case. There's the rules, there's a little quick reference guide for the pieces as well. Don't know if you guys can see that there. There's a bit for the, shows you basically how you can move the pieces. Really handy for somebody if it's their first or even sometimes second playthrough. And this is all the pieces. Here's how they look. They are made out of bakelite, wherever you're from, however you pronounce it, that's what they're made of. I'll take them out and show you what it looks like. I'm not going to do that. I will pause and do that for a second because I have a feeling that this might make quite a bit of a noise when I'm taking it out, so I will be 1 second, guys. So guys, managed to get all the pieces out without too much chaos or noise, so probably still a good idea I skipped it so it didn't rattle the camera or the noise too much. Anyway, this is say a basic startup of how you would play the game. Each player gets to lay, well, each player has to within his first 4 pieces put his queen bee down. So that's already done. You'll see that somebody's laid theirs at the end. I say this is me, for example, because I always play the black colour, so I might often say this is me, so we're just going to say it's me now. I've laid mine here, somebody else has laid theirs there. Grasshoppers and beetles seem to be the main thing that's out. Now, each piece, like I said before, has its own specific movement. The idea is to get the other player's queen bee completely surrounded by your pieces. If you do that, you win. You know, whether it's your pieces, their pieces, doesn't matter. As long as the queen bee is surrounded, when it's surrounded, the other player, or the opposing player, loses and you win if you surround the other player's queen bee. Now, how do you do that? Each piece moves in its own specific way. So, the beetle can only move 1 space at a time. But because it's a beetle, it can also move on top of pieces. Now when it's on top of a piece, that piece is considered locked. So you can't move that piece until the beetle moves off of it either way. Sometimes a good strategy to get the beetle on top of the queen bee, then the queen bee can't escape whatever you're planning. The grasshopper can only go in straight lines. Now, the straight line can't be, for example, that doesn't count as a straight line, but it can be, because it's a grasshopper, jump, and that would class as a straight line. Now, you might say, well, where else could it go, because that's a straight line, but as you can see, there's another line here now, and the grasshopper could also jump there on its next turn if it wanted to. Either way, it sort of accomplished the same there, because it's almost locked to queen bee. Now, it would be the other player's turn, and you would think, well, you know, what can you do here? I mean, this other player's got a grasshopper here, so he can in fact take that grasshopper out, jump it, and put it over my queen bee too, which would then almost lock my queen bee. And why would it lock my queen bee, would you say? Because one of the main rules in Hive is that you cannot break what they call the Hive. Now, breaking the Hive would be, for instance, if you move that to there, that leaves a piece that's involved in the Hive
out with, breaking the hive. Now, you can't do that at all, even if it was to move this piece up and round and in here. You couldn't do that because that breaks the hive in the process of moving the piece. So essentially what you've done there by moving that piece there and leaving and moving his grasshopper is he has locked his queen bee for me. That cannot move until there's another thing in there. And also, if you can imagine, if you can get another piece on the board, you could then get a piece, say here, then it couldn't move at all. Sorry, I'm dropping the pieces. There we go. So, as you can see, a lot of different things you can do. There's a couple other insects that I haven't mentioned yet. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, the queen bee itself, when it can move, so say this was here, when it can move, it can only move one space. So, for an insect that can fly, can't move very fast. That was my first opinion. Anyway. On your turn, you can move a piece or bring a piece out. If you bring a piece out, it has to be touching your pieces only. It cannot be in contact with any of the opposing piece. So, say for example I brought the ant out, I'll explain what he does. So the ant, as long as it can slide in any position, so around the board, I mean you don't have to slide it, you can move it, but as long as you could slide it, as you imagine, the ant can move anywhere. So it's a really fast mover. So the ant itself could go slide all the way around and could lock the bee even further in there. Now, there is only one other insect that I haven't gone through. It's probably my least favourite, to be honest, just because of how strict it is. But it is still useful for locking and moving other things, is the spider. So again, if you were to bring something in, you have to bring it in. It has to be touching only your pieces. And the spider can only move 3. Can't go over, can't do anything else, can only just move 3. Only in one direction, can't double back on itself to get to the place it wants to be. Only move 3. So 1, 2, 3. You can see it's a move consists of sort of fitting it in, so this would then go 1, 2, 3. Then again, the issue is if I was to use, if that was where I placed it, on the next turn of the spider, I mean I could go 1, 2, 3. And, you know, I miss both spaces just because it's 3 movement. So it is very specific as to where you place it, but very useful at times, I would say. And that is basically how you play Hive. As I said, eventually, as you play on and on and on, the queen bee will become surrounded, and you will win. Can be very, very deep. You know, a lot of thought involved in things. But let's go and have a look at what I thought about Hive anyway.
So, what do I think of Hive overall? Awesome! I really, really, really like Hive. I love the box that it comes in, I love the carry case you get with it, I like the feel of the pieces, I like the way the pieces look, you know, the little grasshoppers, the little beetles, the way the pieces move, just everything about it I really, really like. And I'm not really much of sort of an abstract, I mean, I don't know if you could really call it abstract, it's definitely strategic, it definitely has theme to it with the insects and certainly the way that they move and the things they do. There is also, I believe, 3 expansions out for it at the moment. I am currently watching a couple of them on eBay, come on eBay, and hopefully I will have them. I believe there's a pillbug and a ladybug and what's the other one? A mosquito. And there's also a pocket version of Hive as well. From what I've seen, it seems to cost about the same amount, maybe slightly cheaper, but I prefer the normal piece. I mean, it's not really the normal size box. It's not really too much to carry the carry case around with you. With the pieces, if you want to play the game, it's not really that much to ask, to be honest. Other than that, I really, really like Hive. The reason I've done a second review today is because the last 2 reviews have been quite negative, and I want to do something positive on my channel. So that's really about it. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also comment down below. Been watching Beards and Board Games with me, Georgie. See you later, guys.